How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow? Unique New York, unique New York, unique New York. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. A tarantula enjoys a fine chewing gum. How much time? 30?
You are on.
I'm on right now? I don't believe you. The arsonist has oddly shaped feet. Hey guys, I'm Rebecca from WatchMojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 times Ron Burgundy appeared in real life.
The University of Notre Dame announced today that it will change its mascot from the Fighting Irish to the Fighting Doberman Pinscher Genitalias.
That means we'll be looking at all the hilarious and surprising times that this Anchorman appeared off of the silver screen. Let's check it out.
My main news source, of course, I still read the paper, and I get a lot of news from carrier pigeons.
Number 10, Ron on the Dan Patrick Show.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't give me an address. You just told me Milford, and I'm wandering around out there like a clown.
Ron Burgundy was in classic form as soon as he walked in the studio door of the Dan Patrick Show, passing his host a giant bottle of Old English 800. He related a danger-filled story of his journey that we suspect was a little embellished before making fun of Patrick's tacky studio paraphernalia.
Are you okay wearing headphones with your hair?
Are you referring to cans?
Audiences even got to hear about weatherman Brick Tamlin's career origins, which amounted to Ron noticing Brick sitting on a bench with a transistor radio. There to promote his documentary, Anchorman 2, Ferrell gave a performance that was both hilarious and ridiculously believable.
I walked up to him, I said, "Excuse me, would you like to do weather?" And he said, It's a sunny, funny day. I said, "You're hired."
Number 9, interview on Conan.
I gotta say a few words about this guy to my left.
Conan.
Colin,
The Channel 4 News team's legendary Anchorman is much more than a news presenter. He's also a highly acclaimed author. Well, at least acclaimed by himself. His appearance on Conan gets off to a great start when he thanks his host Colin for having him on the show. For some reason, Donahue and the Magic Hour had not picked up the phone.
I tried all of them. Donahue. Maury Povich, the Magic Johnson Show.
Conan's laughter is infectious, especially when Burgundy talks about his time in South American jails, crafting shivs, and collecting poop in case of a prison riot. His outlandish claims kept the audience on their toes, getting more and more ridiculous, which just made them funnier.
If it goes down, I mean, there's nothing crazier than this guy stained in poop running after him.
Number 8, Ron interviews Peyton Manning.
Hello, America, Mexico, and remote parts of Canada. This is Ron Burgundy reporting for ESPN, or ESPN, as it's known in the biz.
Ron Burgundy's successful career spans not only networks KVWN and GNN, but also a brief stint on ESPN, or as those in the know call it, ESPN. During his interview with Peyton Manning, Burgundy gets distracted by the audio delay before turning to an important issue in professional sports: mustaches.
You're running around out there, and I'm gonna be honest with you, you look like a succulent baby lamb.
His list of great football players with amazing mustaches includes Burt Reynolds and, of course, Mike Farrell from MASH. He caps it off with weirdly suggestive questions about the Broncos' mascot, Thunder. Peyton can't help but crack up repeatedly in an interview that's essentially 7 minutes of stand-up.
I gotta tell you, Ron, I wasn't really prepared for this interview to go in this direction.
Number 7, SportsCenter Audition.
There were some things going on in sports today that will make your brain fall out of your skull.
Has there ever been a greater introduction to a sports news broadcast? At a SportsCenter audition set in 1979, Burgundy first forgets what network he's auditioning for, and then erroneously reports that the Astros and Cubs are the first team to play a doubleheader in baseball. He even claims that Notre Dame is changing its mascot to the Fighting Doberman Pinscher Genitalias.
Students were outraged at the news. What?
That wasn't a story that we had on the prompter.
Well, of course, I made it up.
Despite the fact that this is an audition, he calls SportsCenter a financial and cultural disaster, and then flips his chair. Burgundy might have totally blown his chance at sports broadcasting, but he had us in stitches on the way, so we think it was worth it.
This place is run by a bunch of children.
All right, that's uncalled for.
Number 6, the infamous Fanny Interview.
Konnichiwa.
Welcome.
And put another Fanny on the Barbie.
Yeah.
Always one to appreciate local customs, Ron opened his appearance on Australia's The Project with a traditional Aussie greeting. His hosts informed him that in Australia, Fanny actually meant a woman's front bottom, which amused him to no end.
Okay.
His declaration that his career highlight was making love to Bruce Lee also took them by surprise. The four co-hosts somehow managed to keep relatively straight faces for much of the interview, with Ray Martin daringly suggesting that he beats Ron's ratings 60% of the time, every time.
Well, that's hard data right there.
Number 5. The Ron Burgundy Podcast.
Is it upsetting that you can't fly? Is it hard for you to eat chicken?
Though he's a powerhouse in TV, Ron has also ventured into the world of podcasts. By his own admission, he doesn't know what a podcast is, but he has a lot of time on his hands, a lot to talk about, and he's broke. So in his own words, quote, "It's literally saving his life." iHeartRadio says that Ron is relentlessly harassing them to do the show, which he's promoted with a short recording of microphone checks and eating sounds.
Just tell me when we're ready, okay? Tell me.
The podcasts tackle a range of subjects, including true crime and meditation with Deepak Chopra. With humor and a touch of educational content, they're an interesting change of pace, although no less hilarious.
So you hatch out of the egg, onto the field. What was that like?
Number 4. Dodge Durango Ads.
Sometimes the luxurious things in life are... Hey, what are you doing? Get out of here!
This cross-promotion for Anchorman 2 saw Ron Burgundy featured on ads for Dodge Durangos. The campaign takes all the cliches from other car commercials, then adds an Anchorman twist. Whether Ron was chasing off dancers, demonstrating horsepower, or just falling asleep, he brought his own distinctive style to the ads. And Dodge Durango sales apparently soared in response. Apparently, size really does matter, at least when it comes to glove compartments. Our favorite bit, though, might be the saxophone solo. You know what? If the car comes with Ron in the back playing sax, we are sold. Number 3. Justin Bieber Roast. Ron is a man who knows how to make an entrance. He walked on stage to roast Justin Bieber with a scotch in one hand and a cigarette in the other. Sticking up for the Biebs in the worst possible way, he listed all of the pop star's most outrageous, obnoxious deeds and put them all down to spunk, along with a few other things.
He's a man. A full-grown man who works and loves and makes things with his hands.
Despite all the kid jokes, he insisted Justin Bieber is a man. A man who makes things with his hands and writes songs for 9-year-olds. Ferrell's commitment to character had the audience dying from laughter and stole the show.
If you're watching from your monkey cage in Germany,
Go to bed, Mally. Good night.
Number 2. Ron co-anchors on KXMB.
a Christmas tree lights up Main Street, Minot, enticing shoppers with sparkly and special incentives downtown.
In one of his more meta appearances, Ron Burgundy anchored a full 6 p.m. newscast on KXMB in Bismarck, North Dakota. It's classic Ron as he leans into shots and looks at the camera dramatically, leaving his co-hosts unable to hold back their giggles.
It's not too often you can call a sheriff's deputy a dummy and get away with it, even though I have. But in rural Slope...
His over-the-top reads highlight how corny some of the news scripts are, with his mere pronunciation leaving his fellow anchors in stitches. During the sports recap, he reaches into the shot and massages the host's shoulder. By flipping between serious reads and goofy antics, Ferrell delivers an unpredictable broadcast that shows how flexible he is at playing Burgundy.
You guys did a good job tonight. I can't wait to do it for real. That was a good warm-up.
Number 1. TSN Roar of the Rings.
I tell you, Winnipeg is the Paris of Canada.
As we've seen, sports are not Burgundy's specialty, but he did cover curling for TSN in Winnipeg, Manitoba. His inexperience with sports media and geography were evident from the outset when he pledged allegiance to all the Canadian provinces and asked about providing a urine sample. but he gave it his all once in the ring, reminiscing about studying with curling legend Glenn Howard, while admitting that Howard also had a few shortcomings.
He's one of the legends of the sport, even though he is an ugly, ugly man.
He also asked the tough, important questions. Do dogs sometimes wander onto the ice? He also actually managed to land a curling stone in the house. Stay classy, Winnipeg.
Which, of course, in Latin means
Please. We still want to work.
beautiful hill country.
Thank you.
Hey man, WatchMojo's from Canada, so of course we're gonna put something that has Tim Hortons and curling in it at number 1. But I digress. If you guys want to keep laughing, don't forget to hit that like button and watch these other videos, because 60% of the time they'll make you laugh every time. Hey, can somebody get me like a double-double? I'm kind of a big deal.